Why you pray before you go on that?
Welcome, welcome. All about perspective, y'all here. I am your host, Darrell Double D Smith. I have two special guests with me. Two special guests that's dear to my heart. If y'all ever seen my book, Miracle Baby, y'all see my granny, Helen Raymond. This is my granny and my wife, Zola. I'll let y'all introduce yourselves. So, your name and where you're from.
I'm Helen Raymond Warner, and I'm better known as Granny, and I'm from Oakland, California, but now I've made my new place in Stockton.
I'm Zola Waterman, formerly just married as Zola Smith. I'm from Pittsburgh, California, but I currently reside in Oakland, California.
Sure. So today our topic, we're talking about love and relationships. And we're about to get their perspective on relationships and why they are important. So my first question to you ladies are, why are relationships important? And whoever want to speak first, whatever, however y'all want to go.
Relationships important to me because it's about love. It's about sharing it with another person. It's a good feeling when the feelings are mutual.
When it's mutual, that's good. That's good. What about you?
Relationships, I think they're really good, but we have to have, in order to get a good relationship, you first need to have respect, mutual respect for each other, so that when you speak and talk, you can understand it. And you can't speak and talk over each other, and you also have to be willing in a relationship to hear things that maybe never wear this.
Well, your phone went off. Granny got a phone.
Because I'm expecting a real important
turn this off.
Never been out with a phone on me before. I have an important call when we leave from here, and I was bringing it because of that.
Okay.
So we So you want to have a mutual respect for each other.
How do you show respect in a relationship?
Well, in a relationship, there's usually you either agree to disagree, or you have if you talk about it, you want to have a mutual, or you want to have a 50-50 relationship. That means that 50 of it is yours, your comments or your mindset that you have, and 50 is the other, and then y'all put it on the table almost like you do dominoes and kind of mix it up.
So like teamwork.
Yes, teamwork.
Teamwork.
And see what the answers you're going to get.
So it's equal.
It's
equality.
Equal. Yes.
And so no one is better than the next.
Nobody's better than the next. And at that point, if you couldn't get together and you had to make a quick decision, because you have that kind of thing, you think about it, and you maybe could even make that decision and then tell the person a little bit later.
That's true.
Sometimes we're right on this spot that we need to make a decision.
You know, I was thinking sometimes before I speak or before I ask a question, I think about it, and I think about what's the outcome may be. And I know if it's not going to be positive, I may not even say anything. And sometimes that's a good thing. I mean, a lot of times you want to get it off your chest, but you got to pick your battles. It's kind of like picking a battle every year. I wanted to ask a question. So what is the appropriate age to start dating? To have a boyfriend or a girlfriend?
I think 16.
16? Why you say 16?
I think you're a little more mature. You're almost out of high school. You know, you kind of know where you want to go in life. If you want to go to college, you know, if you don't want to go to college, if you just want a job, I think you're a little bit more mature than you are in junior high school, you know. So that's 16? Just my perspective.
16. What about you, Granny?
Well, it's been said for many years, and I think that's why people pick it up, that 16 is the right time. They would have coming out parties, 16. The boys might have started a little early, but formally.
Right.
And in our society, the girl was always like a second class. Yeah. And I say that because what the boy could do, the girl could not do. And really, in reality, that's not a good practice when you're raising children.
That's so true.
Because everybody should be equal. You should demand as much from your boys as you do from your girls.
Amen.
Yeah.
Equal respect in the household. Just because they're male, it doesn't make them be able to do certain things that your daughters and them shouldn't be able to do.
Well, I understand that. So that's true. But I wanted so that brings me up to the topic of why is it on the first date when we take a woman out we have to pay? Why do we if it's equal and it should be equal, right? Like you just spoke on. Why is it that it's the man's? I guess that's his duty to pay.
Well,
on the date.
Just like you just said. And like I just said, it's like a thing that's been stated, like open the door for the lady.
Another one of my questions.
Put her chairs up under.
Mm-hmm.
Slide down and put her chairs. It's not that she can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It's called giving her, as a lady, if it's a girl, a certain type of respect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Now, the thing about going out and eating the dinner, I think there should be a discussion about that.
There should be a discussion before you go out?
Because your lady might want to go to maybe something more expensive than what you can pay.
Right, right.
And so you need to know, are we going to go out to like a casual, something, McDonald's, Jack in the Box? Communication, yes. Are we going to do that? This is a little bit off, but they have sometimes people to call you and ask you to go to lunch.
Mm-hmm.
And they want you to pay.
Right.
That's not right.
No, that's not right.
It's not proper. They
What
don't
if
know.
they ask you? If
They should be paying.
Exactly.
But if you're friend enough
That's
with
how I
them,
feel.
you can ask them. You can tell them, well, I wouldn't mind going, but my money's not right today.
Yeah.
And then if they really want to go to lunch with you,
Uh-huh.
they'll say, well, I'll take care of it this time.
So is it okay to go 50-50 like you was just stating with the equality? If we go out to eat or whatever, she should pay and I should pay and we should put our money together?
Absolutely.
Or, yeah?
Absolutely. I don't have a problem with that. If we go to the movies and go out to eat, I might pay for the food, you might pay for the movies. Or if we go to the movies, I may pay for the tickets, you may pay for the condiments. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I think that's a real good attitude for you to have, my daughter-in-law.
That is a good attitude.
Because most people don't have it like that. And for some reason in our mind, there was like, maybe I'm saying this wrong, like misnomers about things that's said.
Mm-hmm.
It was always indicated that the man's supposed to do everything,
right,
as far as money is concerned.
Right.
But that's not necessarily
and then
true.
They say like the women's supposed to stay home, cook, clean, and do the chores. And
That was back in the day, but that's not necessarily true. And even if the woman does go to work, well, if she's working, she can't do everything that's supposed to be did at home.
Right.
So that coming back into sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Sharing.
Whoever get home the earliest, they should put some food on.
Okay.
A lot of times, you like certain things. Well, I can never have that during the week. Yes, you can if you prepare for it.
If you prepare, yeah.
Yes, if you prepare for it. And with the new stuff, the crock pots and things like that. Or you can put things on at night.
Team effort.
Team effort. Team effort, And I think that's a good thing. But back to the money thing of that is that when you plan to go out, you want to plan out, am I going to a 5-star restaurant?
Right.
Am I going to a 2-star?
Yeah.
If I'm going to a fast food?
They want 5-star nowadays. They don't want nothing
well, then if they want that, that's really a conversation to be had. Because we're talking about maybe $100 and up.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if you're the male and you gas the car, and then you paid maybe the parking, so you probably offer $25 or $30.
Yeah.
And me, I like to tip.
Okay.
So I just gave the one that put my car up, because he might not be the one, he or she, when I come back. So I just gave them $3 or $4.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So then so that means me $35.
So tip the waitresses.
Yes. And if we are coming across to San Francisco, we had to pay the toll.
Right.
So we ran in there at about, without gas, we ran at about $50 almost. We haven't even paid for the food.
We don't think like that though. We don't. Put
So
that
if it's
into
$50 a plate, just say. So you ran at $150.
Wow.
Just for one night.
For one meal.
For one meal.
So that night should be perfect. It should be no arguments. It should be love making and everything else with all that money you spend.
No, you have to like the veterinarian say on the TV. You have to buy me something to eat before you can feel on my legs. Talking about the dog moving around the bag. So you have to hit a $200 mark before everything is on. At $200.
Fellas, you gotta spend some money.
Look, at $200, everything is served up tonight. And then, but seriously, it's a nice thing to be able to share. I think it's lovely when you can tell your husband or your boyfriend or your wife or your girlfriend, you know what? Everything on me tonight.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you already figured up how much it's going to be. If y'all married, you definitely want to know how much it's going to be because you probably have a little budget.
Yeah.
And
you should have a budget.
Right.
That's important to have.
Like, honey, we going out, I'm supposed to be doing the out the next time. And it hit us about 170, 150.
Right.
You can't just come up with that just right off.
Yeah, that's if you're thinking numbers.
Yeah, so we should be counting up. So when you ask me one day, what am I doing? I'm trying to get ready for this date out where I'm on everything. Same thing with the woman.
So since we're on that topic, I did want to ask this. I know relationship is love, but I always hear love don't pay the bills. So is a relationship part of a business?
Yes, if you want.
I think it is.
Yes,
it is.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I think that's the best kind of relationships when you make it that way.
Touch on that a little bit.
Well, when I was a young girl,
Uh-huh.
and I came to live in California, which I went back. But anyway, I used to see my mom and my dad. This is my stepmom, but I used to see them. They would go to the market.
Okay.
And she had a certain amount to spend for something. My father had a certain amount.
Right.
Well, then sometime he would get busy over in another line, and she'd make it. He loved sausage, so he wanted about 3 kinds of sausages, and then didn't really say necessarily cheap sausage. So that's hitting up budget for about $15.
Wow. Okay. That was a lot back then.
So she said, "Hon, at home,
Mm-hmm.
you know, every time we go to the market was every Friday. You always get me for about $15 of the sausage and thing."
Yeah.
So he said to her, "Well, you have to eat them." She said, "But you the one buying because I wouldn't even have them. I wouldn't buy those." You know, they played about that. But they agreed that, and he said, "I don't mind giving it back to you."
Okay.
Because that's what I really wanted.
Uh-huh.
So I would see them when they would come home, they didn't let it cool off. They would put the groceries up, or if she was kind of tired, my daddy was a real helpful man. He was a good husband. He washed dishes, set the table after every meal, and put the vitamins
he set
or
the
whatever.
bargain for you.
Yeah, he said it, and then they would get right to it. How much I owe you?
Mm-hmm.
What did you buy?
Okay.
And get that out the way.
Yeah.
And I never seen them look sour faced.
Uh-huh.
You know, like sometimes people buy something, and you and them discuss it. You might be, like I said, sometimes you don't have a long time to talk on something. Mm-hmm. So you mean like you and your wife together, and you be going like, "Baby, they want $40 for this.
Uh-huh.
Can we go half and half?"
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And you say yes. But when she get home, you don't want to give her $20
Right.
and get an attitude.
Yeah.
You can already tell when they're gonna have when they come in with their shoulders puffed, or the woman come in like this, and they get real busy doing a lot of things. Hey, this is business. See, back to the business you said.
Right.
We're doing business.
A lot of divorces happen because of money.
Because if I don't get my money, it might be one day of my expense to go to work.
Uh-huh.
Exactly.
$20, even though gas is so expensive, but it will get me probably to work.
Right.
So you should respect everybody's money that they give an account, y'all give an account to each other for what you spend. If you have your own little side that you do.
Correct.
But in order to keep that, you can't every time they go send you to the store. You're going, baby, Zola, baby, would you get me a 6-pack
Right.
of sodas
Right.
and 2 Oreos, and oh yeah, don't forget to get me a pound of ham.
Right.
Well, you just said $25.
Right.
Yeah.
But when I come home, you only want to pay for the sodas.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
So you need to be honest and don't get an attitude. Women too.
What about that?
You
thing
my
that
husband, you ought to just pay for that. No, that's
my
not
money
all.
is your money, though.
Well, that's always been my saying. There's some sayings that I keep all the time, and mine is that what's yours is mine, and what's mine is mine also. now, for real, don't y'all be like that. But for 76 years old, I've worked it for years.
Oh my God.
For 76, I've worked it. Fortunate, I was with people that I really was the better with the money.
So
And that's
am I.
another thing you have to admit. If a person is better with the money,
Let
y'all
them handle
together.
Yeah.
Let them run it. But what I say to people, don't stand back. I used to tell, I've been married, 4 times. So some of that money is mine. Might have been some of the problems that I had while I got married 5 times. But anyway,
Oh, Jesus.
if you listen at that and you think about it, I got off course. Go.
No, I'm listening though because see the thing when money come in, it's like, what if he's okay with the money too? What if he's good? What if he's good with his money as well? Will you be compatible because he's good? And I know you're strong-willed and you're strong-minded about. I mean, when we talk about money and business, what if he's a businessman, you're a businesswoman? I mean, I think that make the best relationships, right? Mm-hmm. But what if he's like, no, like you're thinking, my money is my money, and yours is yours. Mm-hmm. Will y'all be able to last like that, or? Yeah,
but seriously, the reason why mine worked is because, at different times and different stages in life, different time eras, things are different somewhat.
Right.
Like you never saw a man think about years ago, unless he was a sound man, his mother had raised him like that, helping to raise some children. He didn't change diapers. He'd only change pee-pee diapers, not number 2 diapers.
Yeah.
So if that was really true, then you look at the relationship. But now that people understand better, so with the one that it was my money or whatever, or I pay all the bills because he brought the money home to me, or tell me to come pick his check up.
Okay.
Because some men know that once they get paid, they stop out at the club for a minute.
Yeah.
They might go into something, so they feel better. Sometime on jobs, people, man, you got to turn your check over to your wife. You're supposed to be strong enough to say, yeah, that's why we don't ever have no problem. I'll never be short of gas.
Exactly.
I got everything I need. That's what we work at.
Okay.
You know.
So relationship is a business.
So when that business work together, then things work out. But I did want to say this, that when you work it together, you want to be sure that you lay the cards out, that you lay everything out on the table.
From the beginning.
From the beginning. And when you lay it out on the table, then you look at it. If she's better with handling everything, y'all agree on that. But there's still supposed to be a coming together time.
Right.
Friday evening, Thursday, maybe Thursday night. That's a good time before pay. If everybody get paid on the weekend, whatever, every 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Have that time to have your notebooks. You should have one. She should have one.
So should we know how much our spouse make? Should we know
you should know
what they make before we get into a relationship? Like I'm talking about the dating. When we're dating, should I know how much she makes, or should she know how much I make? And when we bring it home before we actually come together? I mean,
I don't think it's a problem with knowing. That's part of communication and getting to know one another and to know where you're going with the relationship too. Because in my past relationships, I've had men that felt intimidated because I made more money than them, but it shouldn't be about the money because it shouldn't be labeled as that. At the end of the day, we're still equal. Long as you work and I work, we can build something together and put that money together and build and come up with whatever we want to come up and.
So if you're making, say you're making $30 an hour, right? And you find it a man or whatever, and he makes, say, $10, $15 an hour. Will you really be like, okay, I can see myself with this guy because of who he is? Or will that come into play like, I don't know, because he don't make as much as I do?
Well, money to me don't define me. Any relationship I've been in is not about what the person has. It's their personality and how they treat me. As at the end of the day, I can have and get whatever I want.
So you can have a man with no job then, huh?
Yeah, I can. And I'm gonna hold him down, but I'm gonna help him get a job.
Okay.
All right now.
Okay.
But I'm gonna hold him down until we get to where we both need to get.
So what if you had a man, you was bringing all the money in, just because we're talking about money in the business, and this guy is on the couch and playing the game all day, he don't want to get a job. Will you stay with him, or will you pay your portion of the rent and everything and still allow him to do that, or will you leave him? But he's treating you nice, he's loving on you, everything, get nice personality, but he just don't want to work.
We would have to have a conversation.
Right, and that's where the part come in about money about love don't pay the bills. You have to be level minded and intelligent to the part, not book intelligent, but real life intelligent, to know that I can't go nowhere kissing on her and tell them that's how we paid PG&E.
Right.
That's how we paid our cell phones.
Right.
That's how we did this. And you laying on the couch every day running the bill up more because you playing the game.
True.
It'll be the same thing if a woman.
Right.
They got some ladies stay at home and they don't pull their business at all. They need to go get a job.
And they looking for a man to pay for them. They looking for an athlete or a rapper or someone with status.
Just a common person with a regular job.
Yeah.
But if you're staying at home, you demand to have something did. Anybody that stays at home, the other person should never have to come home and worry about the house being straightened up.
Right.
Never worry about the food being cooked. Clothes getting washed.
Exactly.
That should all be there.
If they're at home all day.
If they're at home all day.
I agree with that.
If
you at home and right now that you're not working and I'm the one bringing home the bacon, I should never have to come home and fold no clothes. I should have dinner. You should have dinner ready when I come home, and that works hand in hand.
So if he doesn't have those things, then what?
Then we're gonna have to sit down and have a conversation because maybe he's not mature enough to be in the relationship that I want to be in.
Right.
And like you said,
I agree.
The thing about talking about it ahead of time, as my daughter-in-law is saying, is that you already see. Sometimes you marry somebody, I'll get with them, be in partnership before you get married. And they might not have the mentality, but they always have a minimum wage job. We'll say minimum wage in Oakland for home care or whatever.
Just settling.
Yeah, settling for it. But if they have the ambition and the drive,
right,
you can always, that's what life is about, advancing.
Yeah. Definitely.
If you believe in the Lord, pray to Him and ask Him for advancement.
Right.
Building
He'll fix
together.
it up.
Yeah.
Building together. While you're trying to get built up, I'm there for you. I'm going to be sure that the rent and stuff is paid.
Right.
But you can't have that kind of job and think you're going to go get a $50 gain every other week.
Right.
And then come home and run the bill up. So
Right.
those are the kind of things, and that's mostly what get people to separate or not get together.
Separation, Yeah.
And
So, what are some of your pet peeves in a relationship? Some do's and some don'ts. I'm gonna say some don'ts. Some things that'd be like, you know what, this is not working, and we got to go our separate ways because of this.
My main thing is honesty, trust.
I know.
Trust and loyalty, because I feel like, me personally, I mean, some people you do, tell stories or whatever, but when it's constant, it begins to be hurtful. And I'm a very loyal person, whether I'm mad at you, disappointed in you, or whatever. If I love you and I care about you and you need my help, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think those two come together. Lies and loyalty don't come together. So you can't tell me you loyal to me, but you lying to me.
I like
That doesn't come together to me. But that's just my perspective of it.
Agree.
Mine is that I have certain things that I demand, and I don't mean demand in a nasty way, because if you don't know how you want to be treated, male or female, you don't know how you want to be treated, then how could you expect a person to treat you? So you got to tell them how you want to be treated.
Exactly.
Right.
Even start off that even when you first meet each other.
No.
I go to church a lot. On Sunday mornings until about 1 o'clock or 2 in the day, I won't be available. I would like to eventually get with somebody that'll come to church with me.
True.
Because it's in my life, and I'm not going to never give up going to church.
Right.
I'm into education. I haven't finished, but I'm trying to.
Right.
So I need somebody that's going to understand that I'm going to be studying some nights.
Right.
Or I'm going to be doing something.
Exactly.
And if we happen to have a child or children, they can't be running up to me and you saying to me, because I'm the mommy,
Right.
or the daddy, you don't have no time for them. You don't have no time for them. Yeah, but there's a proper place and a time
Right.
for all things.
Yeah. Definitely.
And now time for you to play with the baby is not time while I'm trying to study. So you need to take whoever's doing that, they need to take the babies and go in another room or go do something else until that time is up.
Yeah.
So I like myself. I know there's people that be in the house with somebody, sleep, family. They think that you never say good morning.
Oh, wow.
But because you live with them, that don't mean you don't speak.
You always told us to say that. Get up in the morning and say good morning.
You get up in the morning and you
speak.
would be surprised at how little children have a problem with authority. From 5 and 4, they have a problem. You don't see it, but they see it.
Right.
And they'll act like they're busy doing something, so they won't say good morning.
Yeah.
My granddaughter, she used to be downstairs, and she would come up, and she never did want to say good morning because I don't see why they make it. So she would go in there and start brushing her teeth.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, the next time you brush your teeth when I light you up, in the name of Jesus, because you're trying to be smart.
Yeah.
You want to go in there. I said, you better, if you're in a hurry to go in the bathroom, you better run in there and run back out and say, oh, excuse me, I had to go real bad. But good morning.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to call no names or nothing. Good morning. Good evening when you come in.
Yeah.
So if you don't start off things, then you don't. So husband and wife don't think they have to speak. Anybody that you in a relationship with, you should want to know how you doing this morning.
Right.
How you feeling?
Yeah.
Give them a little peck on the cheek if that's the way you like to kiss.
Yeah.
I'll talk with you later on in the day.
So we know.
So now we're into texting. We should be texting at least twice a day.
Twice a day at least.
Or
We know
call.
that-
I think you should call too,
calls.
just to hear that person's voice, because you never know on a day-to-day basis what
Sometimes
somebody's
the
going
last
through. It might be the last time, but you should want to communicate. It shouldn't just be one person always reaching out to the other. It should be
Because
both
if that
ways.
happened, then it's not mutual.
Mutual.
Correct.
And you're draining one person.
Correct.
Where if you really thought about it, that person stopped calling
Right.
or texting, you're going to feel really bad. You're going to
Right.
go like, either I'm slipping, do they have somebody else? Is something else going on? So you really was enjoying it, but you don't want them to have the enjoyment of what you have.
Yeah.
Because you never
Exactly.
did that
That's
on
so
a constant basis, you know?
Yeah. So we know that everything is not always peaches and cream in relationships. We have our ups and downs, agree to disagree. Why is it important to not go to sleep mad with your spouse or your mate or
What she was just saying about the phone call. Because you never know if it's going to be the last time.
Right.
Just because we're young or because we're old.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a time on our life. Only the Maker have that.
That's right.
We can go to bed tonight and they never wake up alive.
Right.
And we didn't tell them we love them. Give them a little kiss.
Right.
Try to settle it before you go to bed. But sometimes our spirit won't quiet down. But we should never be that angry that we don't kiss each other or hug each other and say, I love you.
Yeah.
Same like leaving out the door to go to work or something.
Right.
Sometimes going to the store. You get in the car, you never know if you're coming back home.
Never know.
And you don't tell that person like going out the door, I love you. I use I love you all the time. Am I right, son?
You do.
All the time. I don't care if the man don't want to speak or not say it. I'm going like, okay, I'll talk to you later. I love you.
Yeah.
Because just because I'm angry with you, it doesn't mean that I don't love you.
Exactly.
I might not want to, I don't stay on the phone arguing with people, so I'll just tell you I love you and get off the phone.
Right.
So I can get it together and we won't take it no further,
It's also good to hear it, too. I know I constantly say it. I text it, I say it all the time, but it's good to hear it back. Some people feel like, well, I love you. Yeah, I know you love me, but I want to hear you tell me you love me.
Yeah.
I want you to show me you love me too.
Love is an action word.
Exactly.
Love is
They
an
say
action
actions speak louder than words, but at one point in my life, I can honestly say I went off words and didn't go off actions.
Okay.
If I started really looking at actions, it would have showed me a whole nother side, and I might not be where I'm at right now.
Right.
But life puts you through things or whatever, and it opens your eyes to certain different situations.
Yeah.
So
that's true. So how do you know? All right. So what's the difference? Well, I can't ask that. What is the difference from being in love and loving someone? And then I'm gonna ask the second question.
Okay.
To me,
Go
ahead, Granny.
Can I finish on that one about
Yeah,
communication?
Yeah.
We go into all these fads with media and all that.
Social media. Instagram, Facebook.
And it's great for some things, but it's not good for all.
Okay.
Not emailing, what is that? Texting.
Oh, texting.
No, I don't know. Texting is the most impersonal thing that you can do to someone.
Yeah.
When you don't feel like being bothered with somebody, and there's a Big Mama on Tyler Perry say, you mad as hell,
yeah.
you text them. Oh, bless the Lord, and blah, 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 blah. Because you don't have to see their face.
Right.
You don't hear their voice.
Yeah.
So you can do that.
You don't put emphasis on
it's not
no
personal. Yes, it's not personal. It's animated with no feelings.
Yeah, no feelings.
The text is it. And that's why so many people text. Because they don't have to give in to comments except for their voice and the way they really feel, so they text it and put it on the machine.
I mean, it's a convenient thing as well.
It's convenient too, but I'm talking about the personal part of it.
Yeah.
Like people in the bed with you, and you get up to go to work, and they don't say nothing, but then they text you back.
They text you. Right. Yeah, I understand. No, true. Yeah.
You couldn't tell me good morning. Give me
But
sometimes we laying in the bed, and we
Right.
feel our loved ones giving us a kiss, and that just exuberates our heart. So you can be real sleepy.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
when you get upset, do you still kiss?
Yeah.
Yeah. Still kiss?
I need to work on that.
You need to work on that? Well, we all got to work on something.
Right.
When you get upset, there's certain things,
That's the thing about when you get upset, other than really picking at each other, you should never pull apart from each other.
Oh, that's good.
If that person is showing affection,
Uh-huh.
you might tell them, go on, I don't want that.
Right.
But don't pull away.
Don't pull away.
Get away from me. That's not the way you would do it. Even when you look at your children, you tell them something.
Uh-huh.
You know, they'll get away if you just say, okay, mom or dad.
Mm-hmm.
But if they started snatching from you and giving you some eyes,
that's disrespect, right? That's a form of disrespect.
and you're gonna deal with it more severely.
True.
Right.
Back to the question, but thank you. I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is the difference from loving someone and being in love?
My definition, when you in love with somebody, to me, you don't never see yourself without that person. You don't never see yourself with anyone else. It's just that person.
Uh-huh.
And it's a different feeling. It really is to me. It's a really different feeling. It's like you sometimes. I mean, you used to tell me it's weird. I miss you sometimes when you right next to me. Yes, and you tell me that's weird to you, but that's just how I feel.
I don't get it, people. Teach me.
But
I don't know.
I do. I mean, and I think when you're in love with someone, you don't mind telling the world how you feel about them. I don't have a problem telling anybody how I feel about you, regardless of what we done been through or what you've done to me or what I've done to you, because that's how strong my love is for you.
in loving someone?
Loving someone, I think you can love anybody. I mean, you're
Let's
supposed
talk.
to love everybody.
Yeah.
You know, you're supposed to love everybody, but I just think it's different stages. You can love somebody just for what they did for you, or love that person just for who they are.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
But in love, it's a different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it's love, it's different. It's like a mother and a child, or a father and a family love.
Uh-huh.
You know, you love me dearly,
Right.
but that's your wife.
Uh-huh.
And I'm supposed to understand that that's your wife.
Right.
As long as she stay in her lane and I stay in my lane, we shouldn't have no collisions.
So because you love me, you should show some love for her.
Automatically.
Mm-hmm.
And even though, if I could see that we can't see eye to eye on stuff, but I'm still supposed to respect her.
Mm-hmm.
I don't try to throw no trash in your mind against her, or vice versa. And our
Sure.
family shouldn't do the same. Or
Right.
her people.
Right.
You know, that be a mutual ground. The Bible says, let no man put asunder. It's just not when you got married.
Right.
It means for you to stay out of them people's business.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes if you think about it and they come and ask you for something about business,
Yeah.
they don't really want you to comment too much. They want to talk to you because they know if they talk to you that they won't hear it anymore. Because we'll say, don't say nothing about that. But if you can't keep your own business, don't worry about nobody else. Because if they say it, they had the right to say it.
Right.
But sometimes we'll find in a person that we really can tell them to don't talk about it.
Uh-huh.
Or if they tell it to somebody, it's one person that they know they can tell it to, and they're not going to.
So that's a good thing. So every relationship should have someone that they can talk to, somebody else that they can talk to, like a mentor or another married couple.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like people that are in relationships or married should hang around single people all the time?
No.
No?
That's being unequally yoked, even though they meant it about the husband and the wife. What do you have in common anymore? You don't want to drop all your single friends.
Right.
But far as y'all going out together and your spouse is at home or vice versa, and you're always out single, or she's already out single all the time, that's not right. Y'all ain't going to never get in close.
Yeah.
Because you're having more fun out there being single, still in singleness, with married, than you having being at home.
Right.
And like she said about being in the bed and feeling lonely, if you're not on the same page and you go to bed because you're kind of heated or something been bothering you all day, you might can't square that away, but you need to at least tell that person, you know what, I had a real rough day. Right. And so if I'm acting indifferent or something, it has nothing to do with you.
Let them know.
Right.
I still love you, but right now I can't even talk about it because I don't even know how I'm really feeling.
So if I'm feeling agitated, I should be able to say I'm agitated right now, and I'm not feeling it.
I'm not feeling it. And it shouldn't be, and they shouldn't be offended, and you shouldn't be offended.
Right.
Because they gave you,
a heads up.
A heads up.
They gave you a heads up of why your
because I'm feeling bad. I don't even know why. I don't know everything myself.
Right, but I'm just feeling this way.
But I'm just feeling some kind of way. So, but I do want you to know it don't have nothing to do with you, baby. And give them a kiss.
Right.
Yeah.
And say, I'm just going to lay here and pray and think about it.
But don't just snap at the person and then they don't know why you snap at them, and then you tell them after the fact, well, I'm feeling this type of way. Well, you should have let me know that ahead of time, and then I would have known, you know, and before you snapped at me, you know, because sometimes a person don't understand or they offended. Like me personally, I'm very sensitive. I'm sensitive to people that I love and that I care about. So certain words or certain actions just draw me back like, okay, well, what did I do? You know, and then it makes me feel a little uneasy. Then it takes my joy away and it makes me feel, you know, a certain type of way.
Yeah.
But then on being like that and sensitive, like I was saying about my son, he was oversensitive.
Okay.
You can be oversensitive.
Yeah.
Very much so.
How?
Well, you can be oversensitive if you know that you don't like me, I'm very sensitive about somebody telling me no.
Right. Because I don't ask.
Because I don't ask for very much.
Right.
And I only ask the people that's close to me to do it. Probably that I did a lot for, I feel close to. So I expect for them to basically say, yeah, either give me a good reason.
Yeah.
And when you do that, mothers and parents out there, don't get mad because your child can't come and get you to take you to the doctor and you just let them know last night.
Right.
Because they have a job. And it's not fair to them. Unless you have an emergency, you knew 2 or 3 days at least that you had a doctor's appointment.
Amen.
Right.
And you're supposed to tell them right then. But we'll wait and do it at our convenience and then get mad. Oh, they don't care nothing about me. I had to go to the doctor. And then they go, that's not fair.
That's not fair, yeah.
It's not fair, you know.
It should be fairness.
Yeah, it should be fairness in relationships, you know, and things. So
one thing I learned about relationships.
So about your oversensitive, we can be oversensitive.
Yeah, you can't tell everybody your problems. Because you'll forgive, and people will still hold that on over you and over whoever your spouse
your personal,
is.
Yes.
You know, so a lot of things that I want to tell people is keep that to yourself, or talk to someone that you can trust, a mutual friend, someone that you all know that it won't get out, because that can deter your relationship.
That's right.
Definitely.
And you ought to be back together, trying to get it back together, and those people are still poking the hot poker. Yeah, because he told me they did this, or she told me he did that, or he told me, or she did this, or he did this to me.
Right.
So if you don't have to get them in your business now, if they slapping you and coming out with black eyes, you ain't got to put nobody in your business because they see something wrong.
Right.
Yeah, people get mad about that.
Yeah.
Or the dad is on the phone and you talking about what you gonna do to his daughter.
Right.
Or some women do the same thing. Got a knife. Well, they already know about that, so you don't have. But even with that, they should try to stay as clear of, and then tell you, see all that's going on. Y'all got to get that together, because I'm not gonna keep on getting in that.
True.
If
Or
y'all
just
can't
not
do
be
it right,
judgmental.
yes.
Try not to be judgmental.
Right.
You can't say that you a man or a woman of God but being judgmental, and you can't sit up there and give somebody advice and then talk about that person behind them and then want to call them stupid or dummy because you don't approve of what they're doing. At the end of the day, it's up to him.
Yeah.
You know, he has the final say. So you know, it's up to God. So you shouldn't be. You know, I just feel like everybody do have an opinion, but at the end of the day, your opinion doesn't matter. If it's not affecting you and it's not affecting your household, your money, your clothes on your back, or roof over your head, then why care? Why should, if somebody did something that you didn't approve of, why go to the next person and talk about it when it's not affecting you in no type of way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not affecting you at all, so why talk about it? Why you sending texts back and forth to different people talking about somebody else's life that don't even have nothing to do with you? It's not going to make you nor break you. That's their life. And then you have your life.
And that's why it comes into that, to don't tell people about your business.
Exactly.
Because if you don't tell them, they won't know.
They won't know.
They might make up some lies, but they don't know.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something real quick. If you want to find out, can you trust a person that's supposed to be your friend? But what you do, you tell them something that's insignificant, but make it seem like it's real important. You do.
Yeah.
And don't tell it to nobody but that person. Even if you kind of forgetful, write it down. I told Big Mama.
Call him a rat.
Yeah, I told Big Mama this here. And if you ever hear it again, then you can tell them.
I know.
I know because I wrote it down. I did it just to see if you would do such a thing.
Now your whole family know.
So
then you're wondering why different people, your friends, or even people putting stuff on social media about something that you told one person.
But you know the best thing in life is this that I found. Don't worry about what people say.
Yeah.
If you don't give them nothing to say, they'll make up things. If you're doing good, they'll make them up. They phony. Don't worry about that.
That's where communication come in at, because someone can say anything. They can say you're cheating. They can say they seen you somewhere. And they can tell your spouse something that's not true.
You gotta have,
and that's where your communication comes in at.
And
your
trust.
Spouse have to trust you.
And trust.
You have to have loyalty, like like my spouse wouldn't do that. I love them too much, or whatever.
And don't let it happen until you find out better. You can't sit somewhere and think of things that seem like it meant.
So it's making up things in your mind.
Yeah, and then whatever happens.
Up in our mind,
whatever happens.
Reality.
Whatever happens, we feel that way. When you're young, sometimes you feel like that.
Yeah.
You feel like the only way they can prove that they love me is by doing this. So it's some silly stuff. The only way they can prove they love this, they have to do this, that, and the other. So
it's like testing?
Like a testing.
Wow.
And you can also do too many things sometimes to a person.
And they can leave you.
And they'll leave you forever. And it happened to me.
Wow, really?
It happened to me.
What happened?
He died, he got killed, but I never got over it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And even today, I still love him.
Yeah.
But it was just that thing. I never even put my hand directly on what the thing was.
Right.
Because we got along so good. Everybody, everywhere we went, they wanted us to be around them. But it was He never.
What happened?
He used to still call me, want to eat and go out to lunch and all that.
Yeah.
But we never was together. When I went out to lunch the second time, and I knew we'd never be like that again, I didn't want to go to lunch.
But you
with
kept
him.
testing them? Was it what you was
Yes.
testing them?
Yeah.
Really?
Just doing like me. I liked when I was young, and even now I like for them to prove mine.
Prove their love to you?
Yeah.
Everywhere I gotta go, I prove my love.
Yeah, like I tell them, I say, well, you did do such a thing, this, that, and the other or something, along then I might, I never had a problem with being jealous of my man about no woman because I never had a problem like that.
Okay.
I really didn't. But I could tell women about other women what they could do because I did some things. You mad with somebody, you might find out where they live and go right there to their house and say something.
Right.
That's why and you got to ask them, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
What you got in for?
Right.
You ain't that good a friend to me.
True.
Because you'd be trying to make peace, not
These
war.
problems.
Not war. So I
Exactly.
tell everybody, young people, if you hear me, if you love somebody, don't test them too much because you can lose all that you have. And I don't matter how much finance you have and how much money, if you don't have love. That's what I liked about Whitney Houston and Bobby Brown. She was rolling in money, and they was talking about he had low money.
Yeah.
But she told him, this is my money. I want to give it all to my husband. She got a whole pack of money. Baby, take it. Do whatever he doing. Drugs. Whatever he doing with it, it's mine. I'm not happy without him.
Right.
I'm not happy without him. So and that's why you see some ladies, I put it, but men do it too. They'll go get they more able to get jobs. They work their butt off and get homes and everything with their husband.
Well,
Long as he come up to come up to what they can do, what he can do. They happy. She over there spending all that money doing it. No, I'm happy. You ought to try and get happy
Exactly.
and stay out of mine.
How did you know that was the one? So you got married. We just recently got married. How did you know? And how did you know that was the one? Like, this is the one I'm gonna marry. This is the one I'm gonna be with forever. And
Well, see, I've been married full time, so you don't want to know about how mine went. She might can explain it.
Well, me personally,
But all I'm dead now. My son say I killed him. I didn't kill any of them. But
me personally,
tell them
it was just a different feeling. I had been engaged before I met you, and I thought that I was in love, but 3 years into being with that person, I realized that I wasn't in love with him. He was more in love with me. I tell this story all the time. When I first met you, it was different. It was just different of how we met and the vibe and the feeling that I got from you. And I've always just felt like you was the one for me. I always felt like you was my soulmate. The chemistry that we had from the time that we met to the time now, it's never went away. Despite of the ups and downs that we've been in, our chemistry never went away. And that to me was a good sign because I never had that chemistry with no one else like that. Mentally and physically, our chemistry is very strong.
yeah.
So
That's good. Thank you. I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah. So you said you don't want to touch on that.
oh yeah, I can just touch on it.
Great.
Touch on
But I said about the people, about men and things like I was married.
Well, you're in love with your husband now. I can hear it. You love your husband. And y'all you knew each other before, right? And years later.
Yeah, I met him when I was
Yeah.
I met him when I was he was 37 and I was about 35.
Okay.
And he was just getting back from Arkansas, and I used to go around the corner and have a little beer or something. And because I had some people living with me, and they had 2 small kids, the girl, and they was always howling around 8 o'clock. So I'd take my break. So I was playing. That's when they had the old jukebox, y'all, where you go up and put the record.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm up there playing, doing it. I'm sitting at the table because they always used to say women don't sit at bars.
Okay.
If you're by yourself, you sit at the table.
Women don't sit at bars.
That was just a
Things
that's a
change,
normal
yeah.
too. That's a normal.
Okay,
it's kind of like disrespectful. That's what
yeah.
they just say a lot of stuff. Like we couldn't call a man.
You couldn't call a man?
He couldn't call your boyfriend.
What do you mean?
If your family found out you got to a phone and called that boy, you was in trouble.
Why? He had to call you?
He was always a suitor
Really?
for years and years.
Okay.
He was a suitor.
Things
He had to
change,
call
huh?
you, and he had to go to your parents and ask you if they was really, really right. Could they start dating you?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
now they just jump up and grab you and go about their business.
Yeah.
And the girl get mad and tell her mom and the daddy, I love him and I'm gonna be with him. Don't tell me nothing. Next thing you know, you see some marks on her and stuff.
Right.
Because he already knows she's not gonna tell you everything that I'm doing to you. So I can just be,
Right.
and let it be,
Yeah.
So but anyway, I met him and I was sitting there and he kept looking. I was like, why are you looking to me? So I went to him and said, go to the jukebox. That's when you want to get a phone number or something. Or you want to see if they was really looking at you rather than somebody at the
Or
table?
just see if they looking at you.
You go up to the jukebox.
That was part of your testing. You testing
Sometimes
again.
the jukebox had 3 or 4 people, so they couldn't say you was up there to meet anybody.
Right.
And they'll start talking to you.
Okay.
So he said, "Are you with someone?" I said, and I did like this. I said, "No, I'm not with anyone." I said, "Oh, I got my friends. You know, I love to talk." So I told him about my friends were staying around. He said, "Can I join you?" And I said, "Yeah, you can come sit to the table with me." And he did. And that night, after about an hour and a half, I said, "I got to go to work in the morning. I got to go." He said, "I was walking because somebody dropped me off. I'm just getting back from Arkansas for a couple of years."
Okay.
He said, "My mother lived right up the street," and he told me what street, Russell or whatever, and Ward. I said, I got my car. I'll drive you over. Yeah, I said, "I'll drive you over there." And I took him over there, and we sit in the car.
First day? What?
I drove him over there.
You trust him that much?
I always been like that. I could always feel somebody. All the things that I've been through with, I never had nobody to jump on me.
Yeah.
Or do anything bad to me. I had one time when a guy was trying to rape me, and I was quite young, and he had grabbed me when I was coming down the street. Plenty of people sitting on the porch in New Orleans.
Wow.
And when he got by me, I could already tell when he was coming up to me, something say, "He gonna get you." I never had nobody get me. They gonna talk. He put his arm around me, and after he got out, some of my neighbors said, "I saw him. I thought that was somebody you knew. You didn't holler." He said, "If he told me if I holler, I'm gonna kill you right here."
That's what he said.
And he took me up in the driveway where they had some swings that had broke down, and that's where he was going to get me. And when I got about 3 houses, I remember my friend lived up there, and their window was open. And something said, "Don't go in the dark, because he's going to kill you." And I broke wide. I started screaming and hollering, and he took off. And I ran up to my friend in the house in the project back there. Yeah, but anyway, so we sat in the car and talked a little bit.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, we sat in the car and talked a little bit. And he was a related man.
Yeah.
Had some bad habits. But I told him about the bad habits. I wasn't taking none of them. I never had that to happen to me.
Okay.
And hand like that.
Yeah.
And his cousin sold me. So you people tell on you, you know.
They tell on you.
It's like friendly as you are, because I was real friendly. I hug everybody. You know, in the club, you know how you doing?
Right.
They say, "He don't get mad. He don't even know there's women. They have to sit down and be quiet." I said, "Well, I never had that problem." I told him what I wasn't going to take. So his mother, the first time I met her, she was blind. And I went up. She said, "Baby, is you the one?" I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "When he came home, you the one that brought him home." She said, "He told me, mother, that's what he called. Don't tell any woman that call up for me, don't call here no more, because I met the one."
I know that's right.
He said, "I met the one."
So he knew in his heart.
And you remember one day you was asking about what is love at first sight? Does it really happen? And what did he tell you?
Yeah.
He said, "Yeah." So, you said, "How do you know?" He said, "Because it happened to me."
It happened
you said,
to
"What?"
me.
He said, "With her."
Wow. Yeah.
And even though he'd been married, and he'd been with people, he always told me, he said, "I loved them." He said, but I was in love with you. He said, when I knew we just wasn't going to make it, and I had to go on with my life, that's what I did.
Happened
so
to me.
So he said, I was 12 years with the lady before I married her, the one he married.
Yeah.
And she died, he was 12 years. He said, because I was always thinking that we was going to get back together.
That's
So the day he called me and I was marrying him, he was on the phone. He like to jump through what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Because he thought we had a chance, you know.
That's
my
beautiful.
grandpa. That's my grandpa. So do y'all believe in love at first sight?
I do.
You do?
I experienced that with you.
Yeah.
I believe it's a good feeling at first sight.
And what was the feeling that you got when you said it was love at first sight? What was the feeling like?
A feeling that I never felt
Your
before.
heart fluttered, your stomach started
And it
shaking?
still do after 4 years.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, one thing about it, I can truly tell you, she loves you. Now, what all come with it, she loves you. And one thing I got to give her,
to love you.
and one thing I got to give her, she don't bite her tongue with nobody.
Right.
She think you the best looking, the most educated, the handsomest, the well dressed, the everything is the rest.
Making my day right now.
Other than the Lord, sometimes I have to pull it down. I said, "Baby, the Lord is up there." Thank you, Jesus. But she with Darrell, I'm telling you. She told me one time it was a little incident. And I said, "What would happen?" She said, "Oh, they would have messed with him." She said, "He was going there and I was going there." She said, "We was going to tear him up." I said, "You gonna fight?" She said, "Yeah." She said, they messed with him. I'm going to fight. Yeah. You know, so she really love you. She really love you, yeah.
Love is a thing, man. Love is so I say, we always say we love each other, right? But a lot of people don't know how to show love.
That's
right. And somebody got to teach you how to love. It's like hate is taught. A lot of kids,
That's right.
They love each other. Naturally, we love. But someone has to embed that in you to not like someone or to hate someone.
Right, very so.
Who taught you how to love?
Well, one thing about it, as you just said then, you have to be taught to love.
You have to be taught.
Some people, families, husband and wife, men and family, fathers and mothers, they never kiss their children and tell them I love you.
Mm-hmm.
Unless they're going way away or something like that.
Right.
You ought to tell your child, your grandkids, everybody that's around you every day. If you got so many of them, have them to line up when they're going to school. Mm-hmm. Come here, tell me bye, and give me a kiss. And I love you.
I love you. Uh-huh.
They might, some of them, when they get behind you, wipe their kiss off. That's all right. But I still love you. Because children do things.
Yeah.
You know. But never let a day go by. Don't let a minute go by when you don't know if you're going to see that person again without showing them love and letting them know.
Sure.
They got a lot of men. Back in the day, they just coming out with that when you see men hug each other.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you hug something, that had to be wrong with you.
That's right.
I think I started a fad about that because the guy I said I was so in love with.
Uh-huh.
When I started going to the club where they was at, they never hugged. But when I started going in there in about 2 weeks, everybody was giving a little tap on the shoulder hug. So you got to show, if you don't show a child. And you got to tell them, listen, this is your cousin or this is this person. Now, you act good with everybody, but you act real good with your family, with them, coming up.
Right.
If you do, in most cases, they won't be fighting between each other. Nowadays, you hear the auntie calling the children name and the children calling the aunt name.
Wow, yeah.
And you can't get mad with people and talk about them in front of your children. And because the child holds it.
Yeah,
They there with my mom and dad and my grandma. I ain't going to say nothing to them. You got to let them know. We shouldn't have did it in front of you, but since it happened, guess what? That's me and Miss So-and-so's business.
Problem,
And I've been not hear you saying nothing. And as I lived in New Orleans and had to pass by the doors or incident happened, I said, you better speak to Miss Shirley and Mr. Sam. And if I hear you and you didn't, I got something for you.
Exactly.
And that's what you do.
Problem. Yeah.
Because that's not your problem. It's not your business. And you better not let me see it. But people don't do that. They want to let the kids almost raise themselves. And then when they get in a certain stage in life and they can't do nothing with them, mothers need to understand. A father got a place in a child's life.
Amen.
That's
a man, if he's a male, if he ain't under daddy.
Amen.
If he a good male, and he first of all, he got to be respecting you.
True.
He can't try to teach no kid and he calling you all kind of names and beating you up.
Right, or vice versa.
Or vice versa, the woman, because they got women beat up on men and act real ugly. So it's just, we know it's more prevalent with men doing it. But yeah, we got to be acting right.
Definitely.
When you get in an argument, you need to pick your argument in the room somewhere. Get the kids something to go outside and play if it's that bad.
Right.
First about, hopefully you don't get in those kind of too heated arguments.
Well, that's another topic I was going to say. Because I know when we get mad, we say things. Or we do things. And relationships, it shouldn't be like that. We have to have a boundary.
Yes.
What are some of the boundaries?
Well, the boundaries is okay.
I mean,
just don't go too far.
And what is too far?
Too far. If you know a person is tender in a spot. If they tender.
Hitting below the belt.
Yeah. Well, below the belt could be anywhere with some people. Because if you're oversensitive, a lot of things hurt you.
Right.
So you can't just go around with that person walking on eggs, because that's not happiness either.
That's not happy. That's miserable.
That's miserable. Yeah. Anything I say, I might make them offended. I might make him offended. Some men, they never show an affection, and some women, to their spouse. But when they get in front of other people, they want to grab them and be kissing on them. The person don't know how to react.
Exactly.
Because they're not used to that.
Yeah.
Then when they go home, you want to be acting all funny out there in front of them. That's some childish stuff.
Right.
It's because our young people have never been taught to really be an adult and how they should act.
How to love.
When I was a young mother and all, but in the early 80s and 90s, drugs came in and took over. So you had grandparents that was grandparents at 35 and 30 years old. Early.
Yeah.
And some of them
nowadays too.
Yeah, and some of them had never had nobody to tell them anything. And so they learned with the streets and all that.
Right.
How do you feel getting up in the morning time? All your kids in the house, y'all didn't get the clothes ready the night before. Who fault is that?
Right.
Mine.
The parents. Because I heard some people said, I was in class the other day, and some of my classmates, they were stating how they seen that their mom got beat, or their mom was being disrespectful to their dad. So that's what they thought that love was. So once they got in a relationship, they
did the same thing.
They did the same thing.
That's exactly.
And something snapped to where it's like, this is not love. And boundaries. Boundaries are important.
Boundaries.
So
And if you don't teach your children to have them.
From the beginning, that should be. So, like a relationship, like you said, we talk about finances.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, we need to know our boundaries.
Right.
This is off limits. We don't talk about this. And if we do talk about this, this is the consequence of it.
Right.
You know?
Are we on certain things we agree to be disagreeable? Hopefully it's not too serious.
Yeah.
But we might be something that we like to eat another person on. They have some people, if they don't like something, they don't even want you to bring it in the house.
Right.
What's that about?
Yeah.
Just because you don't eat it.
Right.
Some husbands, if they cook, oh, she don't like this here, so I'm going to cook it. If she don't eat it, she's not going to have nothing.
So compromising.
Compromise.
You have to compromise to have a long
if you don't like beef, if he don't like beef or he don't eat pork.
Forgiveness.
Yeah, if you don't eat pork, get something else and cook it. Cook you the pork chop.
I like that you said that. I like that forgiveness.
Yes.
Because like we said, it's not always going to be peaches and cream. We're going to have our ups and downs. But if we say we forgive each other, should we bring those problems back up?
Only to me. Only sometimes we bring up stuff because sometimes we bring up stuff because it's an example of something.
That's what I do.
It's an example
so
of something.
To tie it into whatever's going on.
But don't do it all the time. But if it's an example of something.
But then that becomes a habit, though. So you said don't do it all the time, but when a certain subject comes up, you start thinking about what
should get farther and farther away from your mind. Not every time you get angry.
Right.
That seemed like something was going on. Or it wasn't, you didn't do what I told you to do. Bring the garbage out or whatever. Because some things are more serious to other people than little stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So it might not be serious to me, but it might be serious to them.
Right.
So as it gets distance between it, if they start bringing the garbage out every other time, you be going like, you know what? You still ain't made it to that every time, but you getting good.
Yeah.
You getting good. So sometimes if I hear you going out the door and hear a bag shaking, I'm going to holler, garbage. You shouldn't get mad either.
Yeah, make it fun.
You know, they make it fun.
Yeah.
I got it, baby.
Yeah,
I'm on my way.
Don't be so
or you
serious.
tell them I done tied the garbage up and put it by the door.
Right.
You ought to be able to kick it. Because ain't nobody in there but you and her, just say, for instance. And maybe the puppies. And
so
they
it should
don't
be enjoyable.
Yeah, you want to set the bag right in front of the door so they almost got to knock it down.
Right.
The guard is tied up.
Because every time you don't forgive and you bring up a subject that you know may bother you and your spouse, you're opening a wound. So the wound was healed, or you put the band-aid over. Now you're taking it off and opening that scab again.
Right.
And then it goes back to where we started from.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe relationships are about growth and progression and staying together, but you know, you're supposed to grow together but grow individually as well.
Right.
A lot of relationships I've seen with my own eyes that they grew together and they became like a great marriage and they became I would say like a Beyonce and Jay-Z. We don't know what happened behind closed doors.
Right.
We don't know what's going on, but in a figure of public eye,
right.
we see them as love. We see them as, you know, the relationship that everybody wants.
And we know that they have problems, but they don't let it get out there.
They don't let it get out there.
Right, and they squash them, you know. So yeah, with knowing something and, you know, bringing it up all the time, like people say, I'll forgive, but I never forget. But if you don't learn to forget, you haven't really forgiven like that.
Oh, wow.
That's my feelings.
I feel like
because it's almost like your children. They do a lot of bad stuff, but we find a way to forgive them.
Right.
Or it's like your pretty little
because
dog.
We love them that much.
I had a dog we loved so much. The dog bit Diane. She still loved the Tony. She didn't stop fooling with him, but she bit Tony back. And for a little while, she said, "You better not bite me no more."
Right.
But eventually, it dissipated. You know, it didn't do it. Yeah. So that's what we should try to do. And on the other hand, the person should understand that I did something that cut that person so deep that they had to have stitches. You know, they used to have you stitch your inside and out when it's real deep.
Yeah.
They would go between the skin and stitch that up where the fat is, and then they would re-stitch the top part of it.
Wow.
Because that's how deep the cut was. That cut and that wound is not going to heal like the surface wound.
Right. So it takes a little more time.
It takes more time, and you need to have patience. Some people go back to doing the same thing they was doing and get mad with the person because they mad, because they hurt her. They acting different with her.
True.
You know.
True.
And you can't be in a man and a woman. You can't be in a relationship, and y'all calling each other all kind of names and stuff.
That's not. Yeah, that's not.
And then when it get time, for the romance to come on,
Yeah.
I don't want nobody to just go through calling me some bad names.
Because mentally, you're not even in that state of mind.
Right.
So if a day before y'all was calling each other names, saying everything above the sun or under the sun, and disrespecting each other.
Right.
And then the next day, y'all want to be lovey-dovey.
Or sometimes the same night. Sometimes
the same day or the same night. It's like, wait, hold up.
And I get mad. Now you my wife and you're supposed to give it to me. You my husband, you're supposed to give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not.
So you, like you said, you got to understand where they're coming from or why they feel this way, because think about your actions that you did previously.
And how long will it take for that to heal up?
And I don't feel like another person can put a time frame on when you heal. That's between you and God. Of when you heal from something. Another person can't tell me how long it should take me to heal over something that hurt me, because you don't know how it hurt me. You can see it, or I can tell you, but you really can't feel how it affected me as a person. Only I know that, and God knows that.
True.
So you can't, some people will sit up there and say, well, it's been a year, you should be over. You can't tell me when I should be over something that hurt me.
True.
And a lot of people say, oh, because you're hurt, I'm hurt. I don't really believe that neither, because if you knew something was gonna hurt me, you wouldn't have did it.
True.
That's just my how I feel about it. Because when I do certain things, I look at if it's gonna hurt this person, maybe I shouldn't do it. Now, when I get mad, I don't think.
Yeah,
well, that's the same thing. So that's where that second thought come in at.
When you get mad, you don't think.
You don't think. So you want somebody to forget that.
Right.
So you have to be understanding. It's like an accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Accidents are made to be accidents. That's why they have insurances and things to cover. Sometimes you don't get covered.
Yeah.
But it's meant to do that. It was something you did accidentally and you didn't mean to do it.
Right.
So when it comes to time to heal about something, maybe they can't tell me how long it takes. But I shouldn't be so unraveled that I'm on the edge about that. That I act different with that person. That I act funny with them.
But when you're not thinking... And you're not thinking about their feelings. So you don't really care about their feelings, because you care only about yours at the time, because you're unraveled or you're upset.
Right. But I mean, I got hurt over something that you did. And then I never really got over it.
Never, yeah.
Right. I haven't even asked the Lord to help me to get over it if I say that. And no, I'm not trying to get over it.
Right.
Because if I look at life, we all make mistakes.
True.
That's why, because we are imperfect human beings.
Imperfectly perfect.
And that's why God came for us, because he wanted to get us straightened out.
That's right.
So we're imperfect. We do things all the time.
That's true.
That's why you say you can ask for forgiveness 77 times 70. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, I don't mean I say that when you do the same thing over and over, but we have our faults.
We still have, we have, because we're human.
Like mine is talking too much. Some people, they don't want to hear me talking. They be all walking all off from granny and all that kind of stuff. I be going like, you better not move.
Right, you better listen.
You better listen. I've had them to call me back and said, I'm so sorry I didn't listen. And act like it, because it happened right after I left you.
I'm glad that you said that. How important is it for you to hear? So sometimes, yes, it's good for us to speak and speak what we feel and how we feel, but it's also important for us to listen and hear whoever else or our spouse and hear them out and feel it. How important is that to you?
It's very important.
Why?
Because I feel like you should be able to express your feelings to that person. You should be able to talk to your spouse about anything. Whether you know it's going to hurt or not, you still should be able to express your feelings.
Do you make it easy for someone to talk to you?
Sometimes, and sometimes I don't.
What about you?
Well, that's the problem. We don't make it easy. We can't always be as easy. But we have to figure out what was it. Some things...
Understanding.
It's so light, it's not enough to get all upset over it. But if we know the person, that's the way they are. Sometimes we have to keep little silly things even away from them.
Wow! So don't.
And
tell
they might say, "Well, you didn't tell me that." And I'll be going like, "Oh, I was going to tell you because I didn't want you to feel like that."
That's a form of lying, though, right? Would you say?
What?
Because I know a lot of times when me and
no,
Zola
unless
speak,
when I came
and
inside,
I leave something out and I don't say it, it's like, "Oh, you lied to me." But no, I don't want you to be hurt, and I know the outcome of that. So it's like pick and choose what you say. And pick and choose your battles?
You really shouldn't have to do that, but there's some battles that's bigger than others.
Okay.
And if you have to go to that, then maybe you have to. It's like you like bought you some really expensive shoes, say.
Right.
And you almost cut the toe on another day. And we talked about it, you and her.
Yeah.
And said, those shoes cost $500.
Right.
Don't wear them over there no more because that little thing is right there.
Yeah.
And then you go and do it and cut it. You don't want to come home and tell me you're going to cut the shoe.
Right.
Your righteous instinct is to decide now that you lying. And, I'm going to go hide the shoe.
Right.
Well, she said to you, baby, we wearing that beautiful suit.
Yeah.
You know, those shoes was made to go with that. Well, you might get away with 2 or 3 times, right? Almost time to go.
Right.
I thought I might try with this. You know, they use all kind of colors now. But one day it's going to boil down to, where are those shoes?
Where are those shoes?
I'm already getting a bad vibe about the shoes.
Yeah.
Then you have to sit down and tell them, you didn't do it on purpose. But if you would have listened to that person, you could have avoided that. But that's what mistakes and things are about sometimes. So, and we have to look at ourselves. How many mistakes do we make?
How do we avoid arguments in relationships?
When somebody say they don't want to be bothered.
Leave them alone.
But then you have people that when you tell you don't be bothered, they really mean bother them.
So it's like, how do we avoid it? Right?
Yeah, they got a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
Or they only want you to be mad with them for the time that they want to be mad. See, they was mad, and they didn't want to be bothered, and you left them alone. So now it's your time to feel funny because they didn't want you to touch them, love them, or nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the personal love, but just the hugging and touching.
Yeah.
Kind of play with them, you know.
Right.
Like you know.
I love this.
Like when we on the phone and she get kind of scattered. And I hear and I say, all right now. And then I'll say something else and she get quiet and I say, all right now. Now after that I'll be going like, oh, well, look, Granny, gonna get on the phone here and talk to you a little bit later, baby. I love you.
Yeah, I love you, yeah.
Because we ain't bad about it. We really ain't mad about nothing. It's just not seeing eye to eye.
Right.
And a lot of times I be had on there almost an hour and a half. I'll be like, this time my hair be starting. I'll get to you later. Because I know when we come back together, it's going to be all right.
Right.
That's right.
You know, it's going to be all right. If it's bad enough, she's going to say she's sorry. And sometimes with older people, it ain't even so bad, but it just makes them feel,
okay. Yeah.
You know, maybe I should have stood down and let you have your say. You know, you ever had an argument with a person, I'm not saying giving them no right to say, like I said, cussing and talking all crazy. Because the time when they was coming up was so different from yours.
Right.
And they trying to tell you something. That's why our children are today like they are. They don't know nothing about grandma and grandpa's stories.
Right.
Family trees. They got to go on and pay a lot of money. One time you didn't have all them TVs and stuff, and you had a night. We look forward to it.
Right.
All the parents sit around and told something about how they was little.
Right.
And what happened with them.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff, you know? I was talking to my dietitian yesterday or the day before. Thank the Lord I lost 4 more pounds.
Congrats.
Yeah. And she told me, she said, it's good. She said, if you love okra, I said, yes, okra is one of the best vegetables you could ever have. She said, it cures so many things. It has so many. I said, I love it.
Yeah.
I said, especially I can put a little shrimp and a little sausage ready to make like a little okra gumbo, whatever. I can do. She said, good. So she asked me, when you fix some grits, can you eat some more? I said, I can't put them with them, but I can eat them on the side because I love it. When it tastes good, it's good.
Yeah.
So now, we started talking, and I told her, she said, you know, people don't think about when it was a long time ago. They think you have to have breakfast food. We didn't know what breakfast was. We knew it, but we didn't have it.
Right.
So you were glad sometime to cook enough.
Just to be able to eat.
And have some, you would actually take it if you had big eaters. Some people raise their family like this. Everything left, you can eat it up. Some people you had a good, nice plate. You can't eat up everything else.
Right.
And they were respecting. Then they have the refrigerator, so you didn't want them to go too long. But they would put that up and put it outside, maybe up high.
Yeah.
So it would stay cold. And in the morning at 4:30, when they light the heater and whatever, they would put this pot on the stove.
Yeah.
And everybody had a biscuit and something. They went on to work. When they came home, it was time for dinner.
Right.
So, and that's what my main point is. Look how long they live. People smoked. I'm not saying it's good. They drank. They did everything, but probably in moderation. And they lived 89 and 100 years. They didn't have the right kind of breakfast food, like cuts and scars.
Right.
You might put some soda on that and a piece of fat meat.
Yeah, things
Now,
change.
if you did that now, and the Lord let it be healing.
Yeah.
But now, if you tell something that I didn't bring the child to the hospital and they had that cut, they'll want to put you in jail.
Right. CPS.
So we need to understand and give old people our reverence, really. Now, we're talking about the old person. Even if they're old person that is nasty.
So, yeah.
If they're nasty and minded, you still can feed them with a long handled spoon. Hey, Miss Grandma Helen, how you doing?
Right.
You know, and don't never stop and say nothing too much to me.
So if you love someone, we're going to get back to that. I like that you said that. Always check in with your family members. Show them that you love them. It's one thing to say, but it's another to go check on them and see about them. Call them, send them cards. That's very important because a lot of people say they love you, but they don't show up when you need them.
That's right.
we got to wrap it up. But I did want to ask you to give 3 tips on relationships to a couple. 3 things that you would tell a couple. 3 things that's important to you to keep them together.
Stay close to each other, and when I say that, call each other at least once a day. Let them hear your voice once you leave home.
Mm-hmm.
Since y'all are into texting, let them know I'm thinking about you.
Okay.
Once a week, they got flowers, ladies like them, or little candies or something, whatever they like. Stop and get that.
Okay.
2 for $1 cards at 99 cents. I know people don't think about it, but then they got a big space for you to write something in. Do that. You don't have to go in there all the time. Get you about $2 worth. That's 4 cards.
Okay.
And have them where you can be at your desk.
That's 1 tip.
That's 2.
That's 2. What's the 3rd?
The next one, don't never go to bed. And don't sleep without each other if you're married.
Okay.
Don't get on no couches and all that. If it is, let it be momentarily.
All right.
And if that person need to get on the couch and not be with you for a moment, don't go in there aggravating them. Let them be by themselves.
Okay.
If you ain't really did nothing,
let them have their me time.
Yeah, give them that me time.
Thank
and
you.
Respect the me time.
Thank you.
If you use to serving them a little drink at night or coffee or something, maybe you still want your coffee?
Right.
I made it and I put it there for you. Don't worry about if they drink it or not.
Stay on your week.
Stay on your, stay in your lane.
What about you? 3 tips.
Communication, love, and be more understanding.
Be more understanding. Thank you so much for checking in with us. All about perspective. I actually had a great time with my 2 guests. I had so much of a great time that I want to ask you all to come back. I want to continue this because I believe it's very important, and I know I have to cut them short. But thank y'all for checking in. I am your host, Double D, the college kid, Darrell Smith. This is all about perspective. Like I always tell you, you own value yourself. Have a great one.